And then let's see if I'm live again. It says I'm live. It says we're live. Let me check here. And we'll wait for everybody to come back. All right, I think we're back. Let me see one other thing here because I got to look at it and see what's going on as far as if I set it all up correctly. All right, I think I got it set up correctly. Where is the video? All right, so we're back here with Michael. And shoot. My thing is in a weird setup. We're back here with Michael and we're discussing my wife's dream. And this is take 2. We had to restart the web. We had to restart the whole podcast. So if you're joining us, the first hour was just interrupted by a troll. We had to start all over again. And I think we're good to go. All right, so and before we restarted, my wife had a dream last night where a giant wave dragged her out to sea. I don't know if it was a tsunami or what, but it was a giant wave, and as it took her out to the end of the water, she was screaming for help. Nobody would help her. She finally, or nobody could hear her. She finally swam to shore. And then her cousin or her cousin's child was drowning or had drowned. Her cousin had drowned and she was performing CPR and brought her cousin back to life. Anything else? So was that a past life memory? Or is that something that is a representation of what's going on in her life that needs to be deciphered?
What was the very last thing, just for the thing? After she swims to shore, she saved her cousin's child?
Yeah, her cousin himself had drowned and she gave her CPR. Now, do you feel like this dream is as real as waking life? Or it was very real for her? Was it different from a dream? Is it not like a regular dream quality? Yeah, she doesn't know.
So
my wife's dreams a lot of times are prophetic, which I don't think this was a prophetic one, but a lot of times symbols in her dream come true.
Okay.
So how would you break this down?
We've been talking about that. Well, let's give the people a little bit of context of also what we're talking about, because there are 2 basic dreams, and I interpret according to symbolic correspondence. That is to say, I can show, and we've shown over and over and over again, that many people, if not all, are experiencing something emotionally or energetically inside themselves that gets manifested as in symbols, in our dream symbols, right? And you can take them apart and look at them, and I can take this apart and you can see the pieces here, right? And I can tell you what the emotional pieces are. Tsunami dreams or wave dreams are actually pretty common. Now, the question you asked, let's stick with that just for a second before we go to the dream, because there is a distinction between, that I've been working on as a dream detective, between these energetic dreams, which are an overwhelming majority of them, and an increasing number of either incredibly lucid dreams that seem like visitations, or that have these other qualities. Like, because you were asking Mara, you were like, hey, did it seem more real, right? And that's one of the key distinctions. So you're right on in that. That's a good detective question. Is the dream like a murky? You know how most dreams are a little bit murky, right? They have fuzzy edges. Then people will, and we've had people, in the Discord who tell us about their dreams and their visions, and they're like, oh, everything was so clear. It was like heaven, right? So that, for me, is the distinguishing type. Again, about 95% or 90% is energetic catharsis, but then this other small percent seem to be these spiritual visitations, and also happen, right, quite wonderfully, when people, like somebody in their family dies and they get visited. But other people now are having, different experiences besides just family, where they're experiencing that level of crystal clarity in their dreams. And I will say this, to be clear, this is a bit of value for anybody. If your dream is unusually crystal clear, pay attention to it. Work on it, meditate on it. It's that clear to you for a reason.
Her said, she's saying it was crystal clear.
Okay. So
and it was frightening.
Yes, of course. Yeah. So for me, as I said, I interpret always, and certainly where the symbols are present, because the symbols are so identifiable, I just go to the symbols. This symbol is the classic feeling of feeling overwhelmed. Okay. If you were standing on the beach and a big butt wave came and was like, boom, right? Just took you, that would be the energetic symbol for being overwhelmed. That's what that, like, the term actually means.
She's saying that's true.
Yeah, this one is not kind of a maybe. There's times when I know that, like, it's a language. Really what we're dealing in with the dreams are simply a type of hieroglyph. You see the symbol and it works in a certain way. But I'm telling you, waves and tsunamis, I've dreamt of waves and tsunamis, and I actually know other people who have had similar ones. And each time, and even just to be a little bit of a conspiracy dude there, even in the language they use on the news, they use those terms on purpose because they know that these work symbolically in our subconscious. So they're like, oh, there's a new wave of this, and new, when they want to get people, you know, with the fear porn type of thing. So again, these are very powerful symbols within us. So let's go through the symbols here. The first energy is the giant wave that is being overwhelmed, being dragged out to sea. Now, we don't usually get that, but that's sort of, we would think of that as being pulled into the unknown. Okay, because that's exactly what would happen to you. Ooh, I'm pulled into the ocean. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know the mystery of the ocean. So it is being pulled into the unknown. And that process that we're describing, that obviously implies struggle. Okay, so again, you're yourself, and then these other forces, these overwhelming forces, are pushing and pulling you. Okay, you say she screams. Okay, so screaming and no one can hear you. That's a fairly personal, emotional experience. That means that in my life, I don't feel like people are hearing me in my struggle. Okay, like, I'm communicating, right? But no one can hear me. That's a very literal, that comes up in dreams, and that is something that's being spoken. Sometimes I do like to, you know, say, so everybody knows, always when we're doing this, your dreams will tell unfathomably personal things about you. That's how they work, right? They tell, your dreams are blunt. If it's something that you wouldn't talk about, your dream doesn't care. It's going to bring it up if it's energetically inside of you. So, Mara, we do come in agreement with you for grace and peace, right? Because we all going through that. We're all going through these stages of being overwhelmed by all the challenges that are facing us. So again, I want to explain that this is what's going on energetically by your dream, but as overwhelming and as, you know, as however it sounds, it makes sense, right? It makes sense for what we're doing. Right? It's kind of like, you know, sorry, good.
Well, what about the part where, you know, she makes it to shore and then she saves her cousin's life?
So this would imply that she believes her being successful. That's so deep. That's so deep. Check it out, Mara. This would imply that you feel your success getting to shore would be helpful to your family. You see that? Right? Now, again, I don't know, right? But I'm telling you, that's like how the language looks, right? Because it's literally what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
She's surviving, or maybe succeeding, and then it's beneficial to her family. Certainly, that symbology of helping somebody out, like, well, if the other person is drowning or something like that, that's the exact symbology. So we get a sense from here that when we are talking about the symbols of dream, and I always call it the symbology of dreams, it is spiritual. And I think we can just say, since we're giving Mara a little bit of a session here, that this is something you can, when you have a quiet minute, sort of process, because again, if it is unusually clear more than your other dreams, just like a person is trying to tell you something. It's just like repeated dreams. The only reason people have recurring dreams is their subconscious mind is like, hey, trying to tell you something. So likewise, I've begun to see that when our subconscious mind wants to deliver certain information to us, maybe to show us what a concern is, maybe to show us what something we're struggling with, it will make the dream unusually clear and therefore memorable.
So
And
let me stop you for 1 second. So if her subconscious is telling her that, then what is the reaction she should be implementing from that message? To relax or take it easy because you're getting overwhelmed?
So the very first thing that's magical is whenever we bring awareness, we're entering into a new type of being. We're entering into our divine source. So in other words, like let's say I was starting to get mad and then I caught myself, right? It's because I'm bringing in awareness. Likewise, if we're starting to feel emotionally, most of the time the way emotions work, we would say they pull us. Okay, like it's the energy that's sort of like pushing and pulling on us. That's why it's a wave. Okay, because it's pushing and pulling on us. That's the energy that's inside of us. To become aware is that first step, is just the awareness begins to dissipate the power that thing has over you. Okay, I want to say that again. Just bringing in awareness. Oh, this is something that's going on, right? That's overwhelming me. That itself is the beginning of having more power over it. From there, yeah, then you could bring in your sort of regular conscious mind and be like, okay, let me think about this, or look, or reflect on this, or talk about this with Jeff. What do we think this means? Why am I feeling like that? But the thing, again, I've said, which I think is one of the cooler things I've learned as a dream detective, is just the interpretation begins to help you with the solution, even if you don't fully know what it is. The unfolding, the bringing the light to it and be like, that actually begins the process. Because the dream, again, our dreams are given to us as a gift for a reason, to tell us something. Dreams are the gift. Interpretation is how you unwrap it. Take it. Mic drop.
That was pretty awesome. Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, thank you, Jeff. Be encouraged. Sorry about the show. Mara, it was fun. And
she's saying thank you. I don't know if you can hear her.
Yes, I can. Yeah, I can.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, I appreciate it. Have a great night, guys.
All right, guys. Thank you, Michael, for coming and sharing with us. We appreciate you, brother. And a big round of applause for Michael. All right, since we restarted the show, where are we at? 176 people, so we didn't lose everybody. People are going to see the show. I leave these on YouTube starting from here. So I just want to let people know that tomorrow's video is with Mrs. Thames. What was her first name? Let me pull it up. Where is she? Nancy Thames. And let me tell you about her. If I pull up my show notes. She is an ET contactee. There it is. So she is a former Department of Defense employee and a lifelong contactee of extraterrestrial beings. And she is also the creator of TimeForDisclosure.com, a platform of advocating for open dialogue about ETs and the greater implications for humanity. Now let me just see what else, if I can kind of tempt you to watch this. And what did we speak about that I found would be something that would inspire you to watch it? One thing is, she said the ETs themselves see the Earth as a living being, which probably many people do out there. I think we talked about that. Oh, she's actually touched an ET, she said, and their skin feels like a dolphin. I don't know if you have a SeaWorld where you live and they have where you can go pet the dolphins, but she said their skin feels like a dolphin. And ETs also believe in God. She used the word creator. Maybe that's the word ETs use, but basically ETs also believe in God. So I think you guys might find that interesting. Let me get back to that. Okay. You're saying that somebody's in the hospital. Oh, Melissa Mayer. I love you guys. I'm in the hospital right now, but I'm here. Melissa, we hope you have a very quick recovery and that you get out of there as soon as possible. So get well soon, and thanks for watching. All right, so that's tomorrow night's video. And you know what's fascinating is because I look at my stats, obviously, and you guys probably don't look at my stats and don't pay attention to them, which I don't expect you to. But I feel now that the ET audience may be even bigger than the NDE audience. If that's fascinating for me, and probably the majority of people that come here are interested in NDEs. But where'd the video go? There we are. Oh, but anyways, yeah, it appears to me that the ET audience has gotten really big. And I guess my best way of looking at is that the ET videos lately get more traffic than the NDEs. So that's definitely fascinating for me. And I've, in my opinion, have put quite a few amazing NDE stories which didn't get enough traffic, in my opinion, or didn't get a lot of traffic, and it's a little bit disappointing for me because they would be, well, at least I don't know, I guess they resonated with me personally. I mean, it's, if you look at every video, almost somebody will say this was my favorite guest. So maybe my favorite guests are just different from what the general audience is. Maybe that's what's going on. But I just feel like, and I'm not trying to, I don't want to, some NDEs, they have more verifiable data than others. And they have more details that they provide about what they saw on the other side. And so there's been some videos that I think should have deserved more traffic, but don't. And someone says which ones, and I don't remember. But that's the one thing that I find fascinating about what goes on with how the traffic works for the videos. All right, so what are we at on time? We've got about 20 minutes left. Nobody wants to join me, and I'm not sure which one is my favorite anymore. Oh, Stanton Freeman would have been a great guest, but yes, he's no longer with us. There was a guy I was trying to get to. He hasn't gotten back to me yet, and he is a guy that used to work on the in the military bases where they launch nukes, and I think he was there when the ETs would come and turn the nukes off and disarm them. He's been around a long time, and I'm trying to get him on. I've just reached out to him. Sometimes it takes a little while for the guest to back to me. Chris Torres was here and he's gone. Anyways, that's one of them I've worked on to get for us. And I see a lot of people write to me, and I think it's great, that ask me to get such and such guests. But I almost think that it would be better and it may be even more powerful, if you know that you want me to have a certain guest, if you write to them, email them, and say, I would love to see you on the Jeff Mara podcast, I think it may even be more meaningful because they see an audience engagement. And if someone from the audience is, engaged enough to reach out to them and say, hey, please be on the podcast, they may be more convincing for them to come on. So for all of you who say, can you get, such and such on, maybe you can just, it's real easy to do. I do it. That's how I get the guests. It's probably easier than most people realize. Dear John Joe, I saw you, and I think I would love to see you on the Jeff Mara podcast. Would you please be on his, please be on his show? And probably more than likely, the majority of them would say, yeah, how do I get on? Or I would love to do it. How can you help me or whatever? But I really would think that the majority would probably say yes. All right, Chris is here. I think he's been here before. I don't think I need to take a chance because I recognize the name, but I could be wrong. I've already been wrong once tonight.
Hello?
Hi, Chris.
Oh, well, I didn't expect to be on, actually.
You're right on. You're first come, first serve, and here you are. But what do you got? What brings you on tonight?
Well, this Saturday came so fast, so I wasn't sure if I was even going to come on. I didn't know if anybody was interested in hearing about the infinite mind, that method that I've been talking about. But
we had been talking about that if you start visualizing to infinity, right? How it would make changes within you.
Right.
Now, do you ever listen to Joe Dispenza's stuff?
Yeah. I listen to a wide range of consciousness, teachers and, gurus and whatnot. I listen to them all, really.
Do you use guided meditation?
I use mainly my own because, in my opinion, it's the most advanced possible.
What do you mean your own? Are you recording your voice and listening to it, or you just silence yourself and try to be still and not think of anything, or visualize being in infinity?
Right. Well, for a long time, as I was working with infinity, while I was developing the concept, I would use many different people's meditations, just learning just like everybody else, for a long time. I really didn't see the power of infinity. I had a more simplistic, perspective of it. I think that, like a lot of people might, until I developed this method.
Mm-hmm.
So, you asked me last time, like, what have I experienced with this method? And one thing that I could example that I could give you is, you've heard of breathing meditations, right? Like just
like deep,
basic, normal.
Okay.
Like just sitting there and you just take deep breaths in and out. Well, with the infinite mind, after you developed your full potential, from this practice, I have developed something that I call the infinite breath. And what it is, it's the harmony and the rhythm that you develop over time of practicing this method and going beyond your normal senses. And you know, as I'm breathing in, my normal lungs of breath, I also have this resonance that I've learned to build up, a frequency that goes along with my breath. Yeah.
Okay.
I guess I would say that it really does have a strong effect, this breathing meditation I'm talking about. And I would say it really does charge, give you energy. Like if you're not feeling too great,
Mhm.
just like any kind of meditation, but I would say it's pretty powerful.
Um, would you say that do you ever just sit there and try to pay attention to your breath? Like some of them, I don't think they're forcing themselves to take
Yeah,
deep breaths. They just sit there and be aware of their breath.
right.
Are you
Yeah,
doing that at
and
all?
yeah, and what I would say is that's similar to sit sitting with the stillness, like the and this in one way. Another example would be what's at the center of hearing? Silence, right? If you're truly listening, you have silence in mind,
Hmm.
that kind of thing. And so I know what you're talking about. And then, like, what I would say is the infinite mind is meant to expand upon your consciousness. So you'll, go past your normal perception of imagination and different things. But then I would say is it gives you more of ability to appreciate that stillness because you stretched yourself as far as you can at any given moment with this concept, but then you do a centering
Hmm.
meditation, then you'll be more heightened sense of awareness, more depth, you know.
I wish you would have. You weren't here at the beginning, were you?
I don't think so.
Yeah, you would. And I deleted it. But
Oh,
I was with Levin, and we were
okay.
talking about listening. You would probably have a great conversation with him.
Yeah, I hear you. That's more or less what my meditations were for the longest time. Just a lot of sitting with the silence and the stillness of the breath,
Hmm.
just a slow, steady, consistent breath. But
Hmm.
one thing that I want to say before I go is, you know, with the channel I plan on making, I plan on putting a lot of information out there with that.
Yeah.
I'm kind of hoping I could find maybe I want to start like teaching, but I kind of hoping I would find one person that's truly interested in, expanding their consciousness.
Well,
And because
there's about 232 people here right now.
right, I've never really asked anybody, but I've have friends and I talk to them and they're only so interested. But I know there's people out
You got
there
a whole
that
planet
is,
full.
yeah.
I would say just
So I
post,
mean,
just make the create the videos and put them up there, and the an audience will find you. You know what I mean? You keep
well,
creating different content and just see what happens.
if I'm right, and I don't want to, I don't know, but if I'm right, this could potentially be very revolutionary, as far as consciousness, human consciousness in general. If people, you know, catch on and get it, then it's good. In my opinion, it's going to be the next like evolution of consciousness.
You should do it if you picked out a channel name yet.
Yeah, the Infinite Day 369.
Have you actually created the channel?
Yeah, I put only 3 videos up,
All right.
and
The Infinite Day 369.
yeah,
If you guys are interested in Chris's content, when this video is over, pay him a visit.
I would just say one thing. Last thing is, if I could get anybody who is actually interested and whatnot, I promise you will find that this is extraordinarily powerful, and I can teach way beyond just the first step that I've talked about so far.
There you go.
I just kind of trying to introduce it a little bit.
That's great. All right,
But
Chris, I got to run, brother. Thanks for
okay,
popping in.
thanks.
Great seeing you,
Yep.
and have a
Bye, everybody.
great rest of your weekend.
You too. Bye.
Bye bye. All right, a big round of applause for Chris. And we got the king himself, Leslie King. Vanessa has been on before. She is a near-death experiencer, so we know she's legit. And then here goes Leslie. I don't see him yet. At least I either don't see him or his hands. There he is. The man.
Hello, Jeff.
There is the man himself, the King,
Yeah.
Leslie Kings. Leslie,
dear.
welcome. I'm not sure if I've seen this. Oh yeah, I've seen this. I was like, your office looked different to me today in some way.
Yeah, maybe this thing's a little bit up.
So what's new with you
Oh,
today,
Jeff,
Leslie?
Oh dear. I see the student. No.
Huh?
Okay, I try find the right word. Very simple. I'd like to dedicate the music to you and Mara.
Ooh, thank you.
It's keep going. Love is stronger than death. Love is stronger than death.
Love is stronger than death.
That's very important. It's not from me. It's an
My wife
instruction
says
book.
it's so sweet of you.
And keep going with Andy also, definitely. It's good to hear about the creator. Creation also wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Besides, but creator, if you keep it, I think so continue will be supported. Your podcast and your service. And
Did you hear me say today that my guest tomorrow says that even aliens believe in a creator?
Must be. I heard and I believe definitely. Even they have, I think, so much more experience about the level, about the creator, but it is just an thinking. Yeah, absolute.
Right. Well, let's hear your song. Are you going to be channeling it? Is this something you've written or is this a live channeling?
Written. You know, it's written by God now in this moment.
Right.
And once again, warfare part, warfare music, and follow with little bit reconciliation and little angels. So 3 different, like last time. And today, in these days, I'm playing always this 3 part. I think so 6-7 minutes.
All right.
Will be.
All right. So Leslie's going to be channeling this music as he's playing right now. Are you going to let us see your hands? You have the video turned on.
Yes. Oh dear. Moment. Start my video here. I even don't know where is the camera.
There we go.
Not so bad. Yeah, I don't need change, right?
No.
Wow, a little bit funny. How about here? Okay. Yeah, this is show for spontaneously. Really, I was very spontaneously for playing, not playing, playing, not playing. But love is stronger, and I choose to play.
Great. That was a beautiful piece, Leslie. Thank you.
For you and for Mara, from God.
Thank you.
God bless you.
All right,
See
God bless you. Are you going to be, before you go, are you back to playing after the podcast or no?
I continue work with Israel. You know what's going there. I do really recording warfare music for the spiritual world will be more cleaned, for it's just doesn't work what's happening there. So for answer for your question, not I do other job right now with the Lord.
All right.
But thank you for your question.
All right, Leslie. Thanks for coming.
Keep the joy. God bless you. See you.
God bless you. Take care. And another big round of applause for Leslie. And Vanessa is here from Puerto Rico. Let's see what Vanessa's up to. Let me see if I can remember Vanessa's channel. Evo Life.
Yes.
I think it's Evo Life. Is it right, Vanessa?
Yes.
I remembered it, right? It was cool. I remembered it before you got here. Evo Life. All right, Vanessa, what's going on in Puerto Rico?
Hi, how are you?
Great. How are you?
Great, too. It's been a little while since I joined you guys.
Yeah, welcome back. I like those. Looks like you got a salt rock behind you and some other stones.
Yeah, these are crystals, quartz crystals.
They're all quartz. Nice.
Yes. I have a lot of them.
That's great.
Actually, I'm wearing, this is clear quartz.
What is that in the shape of?
Well,
Look like a hummingbird from my side.
Oh, yes? You think so? Actually, it's not. It's
just the stone.
Yeah, it's just the stone.
Cool. So what's new with you?
Yeah, I wrote you an email. I don't know.
I don't know if I got it.
No, I know it.
Did you write it today?
No, it's been like 3 days back, I believe.
I don't think I got it. I'm surprised.
I was watching your video with the numerologist.
Yes.
And
that was with Sterling.
Exactly. And I liked it a lot. And I put you some things that I wanted to add to what she had said. Because you asked her about quite a few things that she was like surprised.
There it is. You did write to me.
Yeah.
I see it here. Yes, you did. All right. Yes, I'm sorry. I apologize for not responding to you.
No, I know you have a lot of people that must write you. So, but what was that first question that I wrote there?
You said, does free will exist?
Exactly, because you were asking her if free will existed.
What do you think?
Well, what I've been told, right, is that we do have free will, but the free will we have misinterpreted how it is, because the free will is not that we do whatever, whatever we want. And it's that we have the power to choose the free will to choose how long we stretch. For example, we all need to heal stuff, okay? And our life journey here is all about learning and expanding. The soul came to experience that and expand. So those lessons that the soul chose, we cannot run from that, because those are soul contracts that we made before incarnating.
Brad, I just had this discussion not too long ago with a guest about, even though we have free will, our higher self will still be guiding us back to our soul contract, whether we realize it or not.
Correct.
It'll keep putting those lessons in front of us.
Exactly. Until until we do learn
Till
them.
we pass the test.
Exactly. But that decision is ours, because we can learn in a minute the lesson. And sometimes we stretch, right? The bubble gum, as I said, we stretch the bubble gum, and that timing, we have free will to decide how long will it take for us to learn those lessons that the soul chose. And for that, we are the ones that have free will. So, so the free will is about that specifically, and how long it takes for us to acquire those new knowledge that the soul wants to expand with. It's our decision. And sometimes it takes a lifetime for some people to learn those lessons, and sometimes they don't even learn them. They have to come back and learn them again, go through them again. Yes, but it is our free will. And also it is our decision to heal, how we react and how we those lessons we let those lessons affect us. That is our also free will.
So what about free will and manifestation? Because you asked about that. Why even?
Exactly.
I mean,
So
I still think that we can manifest stuff, and
definitely,
even though, the other lesson will still be there, while we might as well manifest while we're here.
exactly. That's the whole point. Exactly. Manifest while we don't have to wait, right, to cross over to manifest. The thing is that we manifest every day. Everything we live is a manifestation.
Right.
Okay.
That's what we talked
But
about.
it's an unconscious manifestation. But when we consciously want to manifest, we need to know that we all carry wounds, that will impede, or let's see, slow the process of manifestation if we don't first give. Because one of the laws of the universal laws is that the energy always needs to be in balance. So we always want to manifest, but manifestation requires that you give something away, that you release to the universe, and so the universe can bring in. So we always need to know that if you don't do the work, if you're not open to do the work that needs to be done, that the soul chose to learn and release whatever doesn't serve you anymore, you can't manifest to the level that you want to manifest. That's why healing is so important. Opening up all the time to work on yourself and do that healing process is so important to for manifestation.
Well, what's the best way to do the healing work?
Well, become aware of what are those wounds or lessons, right, that the soul chose to come here and learn. Because these lessons start since we are born.
I talked to someone else about that the other day, and I can't remember who it was, but I think it was a man, and he was saying that the lessons are obvious.
Yes, they are. It's just that we are so accustomed to them that big things with time need to happen so that those shocks wakes us up, and we become aware. It becomes more clear to us. This was what happened to me. It wasn't until I was 51 that all this chaos, right, made me aware of all that had happened in my life that I was addressing in the same way, and I had to make a lot of changes in order and open up to my healing path in order to be able to change my life and do things differently, reprogram myself and do things in a different way that how I was handling them before. So definitely we all can manifest. And if we want to know that, but that was that little note that I wrote at the end of that email that I sent you. If you want to know what your soul, I use astrology for purposes of helping people understand and heal. Just for that. And there's 2 placements that I always everybody should know about because they are very important to human life. And it's the North Node placement, because the North Node tells you what are those lessons that your soul chose to live in this current lifetime.
Wow.
Yes. And so your south node speaks about what you already know, your past life, what you have already learned. So North Node speaks about your the part of you that it's unknown to you, so it's gonna be more scary but you should go into that because your soul is needing that information, that knowledge to be acquired during this lifetime. So another thing that I take a deep look at is the Chiron placement. Chiron is an asteroid that changes placement, takes 5 years. So everybody that is born within those 5 years has the same wound. It is called, Chiron is called the wounded healer. And it is an innate wound that we all are born with. So it means that the more you open up to knowing what this wound is all about, and you're going to see it very clearly, very clearly, when you open up to heal that and work on that wound, your life takes quantum leaps because you become aware of all your wounding and
So all you have to do is be open to it.
Yes.
And then it'll start coming.
Exactly. Open and realize that this is something that you need to work either more or less, because some people are closer to that. The closer you are to being aligned with your North Node, with what the soul chose, your life is gonna be taking quantum levels of wellness, well-being, and balance. And you're going to be able to manifest faster when you align with that.
That's great. Vanessa, I'm sorry I got to run. I got 2 people waiting on me and I'm into overtime already.
So I said, if you ever want to know, I want to do that for you guys so that you know. So
okay, awesome. Thank you so much.
So send me your information. I wrote it there in the email. Send me your information and you're gonna see. You're gonna be very clear.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. If you want to see more what Vanessa's up to, she's at evolife.com.
Yes.
Thanks, Vanessa. And we also did a podcast together. That was number what?
475.
475. So check that out as well. All right, Vanessa, have a great weekend. Oops, sorry, Vanessa. I didn't mean to. I clicked it too early. Apologize. I didn't let you say goodbye. And here's a big round of applause for you. Yeah. I don't know how to verify anybody else tonight. Telegram. I don't know. Telegrams, I think, kind of like WhatsApp or something like that. What's up? Maybe you can put a link.
What's up, Jeff?
Well, hello there.
Hello there. Never show up with a light orb to a Jedi fight.
He never. I remember Obi-Wan was telling Anakin something like, "Don't lose this. It's your life."
Don't lose this. You get one lightsaber, or you have to find one. But that's a long story.
It would be great if Sean Connery was a Jedi.
Which could have been a Jedi.
Which actually, what is his name? The actor for Obi-Wan, Ethan McGregor or something like that. You know his name? The actor who played Obi-Wan?
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I think he's actually Scottish.
Yes, by McGregor.
Yeah. So
He does a slightly different.
Is it started snowing up there in Minnesota?
Yes, it's just started snowing out here.
All right. I wish we were getting some snow. It'd be fun. You ever do bobsledding or any of that kind of stuff?
Oh,
Skiing?
I'm more of a summer guy.
You're a summer guy. You just stay in.
Yeah.
You stay in until about March.
Yeah.
But that's not a different city. There's like that mall up there somewhere, Mall of America. It's like some massive mall.
Yeah,
It's
that's in Minneapolis.
Have you been there?
A few times, yeah.
Is it pretty cool?
Well, it's just a mall.
It's just a
but
mall.
I would go around and juggle for people.
Oh, cool. But isn't that place like huge? Like it's got like an amusement park inside of it or something?
Yeah, it's big. I've only been there a few times, so
It's the Mall of America. It's got to be big.
yeah, of America. Yeah.
There was a guest the other day. I don't know if I posted this guest or not. And we were talking about, it was not mind jackers. It was the UFO guy. And we were talking about mind loops. Did you see that one?
No.
It was the UFO. It was just the other day, and about putting these mind loops. ETs are putting like these mind loops into people. Trying to remember who the guest was. I can tell you here in a second. It was Dimitar Todorov, and we were talking about the mind loops that ETs put into people and how to get. I need to look and go back and listen. There was a guest. He was an author. He was telling me about that could take these mind loops out of you. But I thought, like I said, it was similar to the mind jackers.
Well, I said what they did was they kept changing. So I said there was a greater mind and it's smarter than us. And then I kept saying, oh, I was stupid for believing that. But they would correct me and they say, no, you just believed it. So they correct me on every little thing. So we're not stupid for believing something. I said, we just believe it.
Yeah. Well, I thought you should just believe in whatever, because it's whatever you believe is real for you. Isn't that their message?
Well, mine was I got duped so many times over. See, I would believe this. I'd believe that. Let's see if I can get it. Let's see if they'll let me say it. I thought world peace was going to break out and everyone was going to become enlightened like I was. So they put this, I had this energy. I had a greater mind. I said, I was hearing, for me, it was Mary.
I remember
I
when you
said
were
they
here
could
in
show
Mary.
up whoever they wanted to. Yeah, and then I was put through a training program,
Yeah.
and that see they won't let me say everything. I said during this there was different phases, and I couldn't control my voice, so I didn't know what I was going to say. And they'd usually tell me, if you're going to speak, then it's going to be us.
Oh.
Yeah, and I said this generates our thoughts, and they can make it seem like your thoughts are coming from different locations, softer. I think you asked that.
Yeah.
Like they can make it very, very nice, so we can like you're like I could have just sat there and listened to this the really good voice, but then they said they couldn't do that because I would feel bad if I let them down. Like that's part of my personality. Like I don't want to let a good person down. So they had to kind of be harsh on me.
Oh.
And they would, I would say they showed me all these different things. Like they could shock people, they could shock me awake, they could control my eyes, uh, make it so I could say things easier, do impressions easier. I said I got to keep like a lot of this physical, so like I could learn faster.
Your
I could,
life reminds me of this book that's called My Life is None of My Business. Like your life is none of your business since they're controlling you so much.
yeah, I said it's like stranger than fiction. It's like there's this greater mind that's just we're unaware of. And then I know there was one lady who said, um, we don't understand that we're manifesting this, but I think that's just another part of the dupe, that sometimes they can make it seem like you're doing it, you're the one manifesting it,
Mhm.
but you're not this is one thing that all these superpowers that people have, like they're not in control of it, but that's part of the belief.
Do you still
Like
believe that ETs are demons?
I think no. Now now I think it's part of the greater mind. I said it's the good, the bad, and the ugly. Like it's never just like I used to think that like ET was pretty much a negative thing, but now I think it's good, bad, it's everything. Uh the same with God, same with spirit communication. Like there's always going to be the up and the down. They never just give you great information. But this is how they corrected me. They said there's stupid beliefs, so you shouldn't believe things that are stupid. So,
Wow, it's easy to get, many people, including myself, get tricked.
yeah, but I say it's like it's like we're not designed to be able to just believe the. I said because I said give me the truth, and they said we can only give you a belief. It's like reality. It's like it's that saying like turtles all the way down or something like here. It's like the hall of the mirrors or the never ending story. It's like we never I didn't think any of this was possible. So maybe that's part of reality is we just we can't know. Maybe that's
Yeah.
because if you say is there a heaven, is there hell? It's like it seems like reality is being generated around our beliefs and thoughts.
Well, on that note, do you think Trump's going to be the president next time?
Let me tell you something, folks. We're coming back large and huge. Number one, number one. We're gonna do it. Well, they said he's getting very more popular.
Mhm.
My belief was that he won, he won, he won. Yes, but the big scary dinosaur showed up and he started tinkering, tinkering, tinkering. He didn't know what he was doing, and now you're doing it. You're selling it. You're selling it, and yeah,
And then he had
because
to
I can
start
feel energy.
walking.
Yeah, and so on election night, I can feel the energy. It's like I know who's going to win because it's like there's an energy out there. And the same with like when people are thinking or praying, it's like there's something going on there.
Well, do you have any predictions for 2024?
Well, I like the saying. It's like it's like what's going to be the most ironic thing. I kept saying everything's like a paradox, but they said it's not a paradox. They said it's like I always feel like my life reflects like the country. It's like if I'm doing good, the country's doing good. So it's like help me, and then things will work out. That's how I see it. It's like
Hmm.
that's what I want. I just because I just want people to care. And I told you that my dad wrecked my life. My family doesn't care.
Right.
Uh, it's like they have a cognitive dissonance. It's like they hold two contradictory beliefs. Like
Steven's just this
uh,
guy over there.
I'm over here. I'm over here. I see. I didn't want to die, so I begged God. It's like when we get desperate.
Yeah.
And then
Wow.
my mind got taken over. Now I said,
Uh-oh. Looks like they're stunting your speech.
they're stunting me. They're stunting me. I said, like, I can't go back. It's like I can't go back to where I thought I was alone.
Have you been
In that.
playing any ping pong lately?
They didn't have ping pong this week.
Why?
I don't know.
You were beating that poor guy left-handed.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I picked up the game pretty quickly.
If you want to see Steven beating some guy in ping pong with his left hand, check it out. Is that on? Did I catch that on TikTok or YouTube?
That's YouTube.
Hmm.
Yeah. I just put up a video about how the last days of golfing on my shorts.
I would be interesting to see a video of you golfing in the snow.
Yeah.
If that's possible. I don't know. I don't live where there's snow, so I wouldn't know.
Well, if it was up to me, I'd just go out and hit some balls.
Although you'd have to get a black ball, so with the white ball wouldn't get lost in the snow, right?
He better get buried. So
I guess it's
Ian McGregor was here. If he was here, he'd pull out his lightsaber. He'd show us what's done.
Does that lightsaber make sounds?
Yes, it does.
I just don't hear them.
I have the high ground here. Don't tempt me. It makes sounds when you whirl it.
I guess Zoom is blocking. You know what happens is if you don't put Zoom on your performance mode, it blocks out sounds.
Oh yeah.
You've got to change the settings to where it's on like performance mode. You have to go to your audio settings.
But I've had enough of the light. Time for the darkness. Yeah, because I said it's kind of like the force works both sides.
Yeah.
I said everyone can have their own experience.
That's true.
Like
that is true, brother.
If it's good, if it's bad, what is it?
Everybody is perhaps on both the dark and the light side.
This is one of the lessons I learned is that who's ever running something, they want it done their way. So you better have good people that are running things. Because I said, like, some guy might be nice to me here, but then when he's running something somewhere else, they want it done their way. So I said, it doesn't, matter what the rules are. It's who's in charge.
What if it was, you ever thought about what if some elements of Star Wars were really real? Like there's some emperor far away that's running our whole galaxy. We're just this little planet on the edge that they don't care about.
Yes. Well, I mean, they're just movies, so I mean, but there must be something that like, some reason why people like it, and then if they don't make a good movie, that it's not resonating. They said it's like a formula, and they're not using a formula.
There is a woman that allegedly wrote all the well, she wrote The Matrix, and she wrote what's the other one with Schwarzenegger in it? What's that? What are those movies? What's the movie where Schwarzenegger's a robot? I forgot it. I don't know why I can't remember.
The Terminator.
Yes,
You
she
can't just go
supposedly.
around telling people.
I think she
I'm
said
not.
that she wrote both of those.
Yeah,
And really,
I'd
The
say I'd like a
Matrix is
movie.
kind of like a follow-up to the Terminator. Like the guy John Connors in the future becomes Neo.
Yeah, that's how I felt like when I felt like I was in a training program.
I thought about getting her on as a guest. I think her name's Sophia. Well, brother, I've got to do what I've got to do. I'm 30 minutes into overtime. I've got another guest potentially, and you know,
All right, well,
it was
have a great night,
seeing
everyone. And you
you.
gotta do what you gotta do, man.
We love you. Good, and have a great rest of your weekend, Stephen.
You too.
Cheers.
Have a great night, everyone.
Bye-bye. Mm-hmm. All right. To me. Oh, why did I do that? I don't want to do that. Darn it. I put up what's new in Google Chrome. I didn't need to do that. Anyways, we have one more guest. I don't know what's going on. We've already had to delete the video once tonight. His name or her name is Hardware. Keep sending links, but I don't know where he's sending it, but it's not working. And I don't know if I want to delete the rest of the video tonight. He's... Any links? I don't know what the links are. And he doesn't have a YouTube channel at all? Oh yeah, you really can't. A lot of times, no links. Yeah, it's true. YouTube won't let you put links in the chat. Let's see. And he doesn't have a channel. He does have 6 subscribers. Even I don't know. I just don't. That's the difficult thing now with Saturday nights. He assures me, do we take a risk? What do you think? I don't know. I don't know. I have a YouTube channel, but nothing on there, unfortunately. And do you trust Hardware? If you have an moderator, they can put links in. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. Oh, there's someone else here. An iPad. iPad, I think, was the person earlier that bombed us. That was Emma. I don't know. I'm so sorry, Hardware. I'm gonna call it a night. We gotta figure out what we gotta do. It's alright. He said there's always time, so you can always, my email's in the videos, you can always email us your contact, even though that could still be fake. Yeah. Okay. Alright guys, well thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us tonight. We really appreciate you. We love you guys. God bless you and good